Hey everyone, Chris here, the RC Geek, coming to you from the shop today. And we're talking about the Seagull models P-47 from Legend Hobby. I went through, we've done our first flights video, I provided full assembly review and repaint, and so now we're wrapping it up with my full flight review on the airplane. This is an airplane I've really been enjoying a lot. It flies great, it's got great power. Great presence in the air. I've also added a bomb drop capability, which we've been having a whole lot of fun with. One thing I do want to mention up front, I am giving one of these airplanes away with Highmark retracts in combination with Legend Hobby. A big thank you to them. And this is the last week to enter. So there's a link in the description. Follow that to enter. Take advantage of as many ways to enter as you can, and good luck to you. I will be announcing the winner this Friday. So this is the last week, and a big thank you to Legend Hobby for making that happen for you guys. And so with respect to the airplane itself, as mentioned, I've really been enjoying flying the airplane quite a bit. And after the repaint, totally transformed the presence of the model in the air. There's just something about having a model in accurate colors, whether it's got panel lines and detail or not, it just totally changes the looks. And so it's been a whole lot of fun. Now, as I mentioned, I did modify for a bomb drop with the wing pylons that are included with the kit. And so I do touch on how I did that in my assembly review. But I've been kind of going back and forth on materials and what bombs to use. Well, ultimately, I found a model on Thingiverse, and I printed it out of flex material. I've got the fins and the bomb body all in the flex material, and I embedded magnets inside the two bomb halves, and the fins are a single piece. So what happens is the two bomb halves split when it hits the runway or whatever the target is, but it keeps it all together because that flex material is so flexible that nothing breaks. So if you're looking to do something like that, I'd highly recommend looking at printing in TPU, which is that flex material. It's awesome stuff. Put some dirt or some flour or something like that into the bomb halves, so that way when they break apart, when they hit, you see a nice puff of smoke that comes up. Now with respect to the power system, I'm using a Tomcat 420 kV motor swinging a 1510 prop, and actually I've shortened the prop by 1/4 inch on each side at the tip, so it's actually a 14.5 10. And I discovered that the airplane picked up a little bit of speed doing that, but didn't sacrifice too much of the vertical performance. And so the heart behind that is then a 6S 5000 Spectrum Smart Pack. I'm getting great flight times out of the airplane. And so, yeah, it's got great power, vertical speed, the whole package. Now, I did notice a couple of things in the process of flying the airplane that I did want to touch on before we get into the controls and CG and that sort. If you have one of these models, be sure to check the alignment of your main gear. I discovered that one was actually slightly behind the other. And so as a result, the airplane was pulling hard to one side on the takeoff. Fixing that, I used some shims to get the same angle left to right, and that helped take care of that. And also, if you find that the airplane is a bit nose tippy on the takeoff, if you will, I recommend adding some shims to the back of the landing gear mounts to angle them forward a little bit more. I added about a 3/32 of an inch shim total to the back of the main gear retract. One other thing that I ended up modifying since the assembly video, the original hatch was intended to be held in place with 2 screws on either side. So I ended up getting rid of those and gluing some rare earth magnets into the fuselage and in the hatch. So now it's just held on with magnets. So it looks a lot cleaner and it's a lot easier to manage. Just some things to keep in mind if you have one. And so, yeah. With respect to the controls on the airplane, I've got them all tuned in. I'm really happy with how the airplane is flying. And so for the elevator, I'm at 15 millimeters up and 12 millimeters down with 12% expo. For the aileron, 12 millimeters up and down with 5% expo. For the rudder, 24 millimeter left to right with 15% expo, and for the flap, 22 millimeters mid and 45 millimeters at full flap. And I've got a 4% and an 8% down elevator mix, respectively, with the flaps. With respect to the CG, as mentioned, I'm flying with a Spectrum 6S 5000 pack, and that's placed kind of farther back on the battery tray that comes with the airplane. I started with it all the way forward and I progressively moved it back. And so the CG ends up right at the recommended location, and that is 90 millimeters as measured from the wing root leading edge aft. It feels really good at that location, and so I definitely recommend starting at that 90 millimeters location that they recommend. Now, with respect to flying the airplane has fantastic presence in the air. The performance with the Tomcat motor is great. It's responsive on the controls. It's got great vertical, great speed. It even has a really nice sound to it, even though it is electric. You do need to be a bit active on the rudder when you're taking off, so keep that in mind. Also check your alignment on the tires because if it's pulling one way or the other, that could be part of it. So check that as well. I recommend slowly bringing the throttle up as you accelerate in the takeoff. Otherwise, you can kind of read and react to the model. In the air, the airplane performs scale aerobatics beautifully. Nice axial rolls. It looks good doing it. It's got nice verticals for loops, Immelmans, things of that sort. And so the bomb drop is extremely fun, and especially now with the flexible bombs, not having to reprint bombs every time I drop them. And I've actually not had an airplane with a bomb drop capability before, so I'm really enjoying that quite a bit. And so then on the landings, you know, the airplane locks in really nicely. It does like a touch of speed at the touchdown, so you want to be careful not to slow it down too much because it'll tend to wallow and maybe plop down on the ground, versus if you carry just a touch of speed, try and touch one wheel first, it'll really give you those greaser landings if you do it. So let's take this out to the field, give you guys a flight, show you what it can do in its brand new colors with the fully vetted out bombs, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap this up.
Not like this. Yeah.
Alright guys, so that is the Seagull model's P-47. The airplane does come with optional NACA leading edge droops, and I will be doing an additional video on that when I get a chance. But otherwise, I'm really enjoying the airplane. I love how it looks, especially in the new colors. Got great presence, it flies great, it's been a whole lot of fun. That's it for this video guys. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to follow along on social media at the RC Geek. Subscribe. Don't forget to enter the contest. This is the last week, and so the link is in the description. And so yeah, good luck to you guys again. And so until next time, I'll see you at the field.